we're out at Al-Waqadi Island. It's part of the Red Sea Development Company's Red Sea Project's Special Economic Zone once it's established. And this is an island that's really special for the project. It was potentially going to be developed, but when we started doing baseline surveys here, we found out that it is quite possibly an island that has the highest number of nesting hawksbills for our Special Economic Zone, or SEZ, as well as potentially for the Northern Red Sea. And because it was such an important habitat for hawksbill turtles, because they come here to nest, it was now put as a set-aside island, and it will not be developed and it will not be touched. So it's a protected area now. So it's one of the reasons why we chose this area to release our rehabilitated turtles, so that we knew they were in a safe area where they're going to have time to get reacquainted with the natural world again.
One of the Red Sea Development Company's goals is to empower the local community through education, through training, through awareness programs, and through, of course, employment. So they are locals, they're very enthusiastic about protecting their environment and making a change, actually, within their community. So they are the ambassadors of the Red Sea Development Company in their own community. So they play a great role in changing mindsets and spreading awareness.
We had 2 female hawksbill turtles, Amal and Hayat, which is hope and life. So they're subadult to adult hawksbill females. And hawksbills are critically endangered sea turtles, so it's really important that we protect and conserve them in the Red Sea and globally. So what happened is on April 2nd and April 3rd, Red Sea Development Company construction team and a local captain who works for one of the contractors for the Red Sea Development Company, found the turtles floating at the surface, unable to dive. So basically they're having buoyancy control issues. They're, for some reason, have a buildup of gas that leaves them unable to dive, which makes it challenging for them to forage for food. It makes it difficult for them to find a place to rest at night, because they would usually tuck themselves in the reef to sleep at night. And as they become more stressed, it can actually make the problem worse, and then they can become dehydrated, and it's really difficult for them to recover on their own in the wild once they start having those buoyancy problems. Basically, we fitted the turtles with 2 different kinds of tags. So the one has a satellite tag, and it's basically a tag that talks to the satellites and gives us GPS positions of where the turtle goes. The other tags we put on the turtles are much less high-tech. They're titanium flipper tags that have an alphanumeric code that's unique to those turtles. So each flipper has a different alphanumeric code, and that's the way that we can, if we start doing nighttime beach surveys, know that we've seen these turtles again, or if divers see them and they get good photos, we can know that we've seen them again. In addition to that, we also take photos of the sides of their faces, because that can be used to photo identify them and tell them apart.
Most of our tagging is done by a PhD student at KAUST named Lindsay Tanabe. And I, as a sort of research scientist, it's my job to support the students, help them with their projects as much as I can. We put the tag sort of at the front portion of the shell, and we fixed it there because when the turtle comes up to breathe, that bit of the shell gets out of the water. And the tag has a wet-dry sensor on it, so the tag sort of realizes when it's out of the water and activates a radio transmitter. And that radio transmission goes to a satellite, uses that transmission to sort of triangulate the position of the tag, and then sends that to essentially an email account with the information. It's like, your tag was here. The technology for this has really come a long way. This sort of marine tracking is only a few decades old, and it's really expanded as things like cell phone technology, things like, getting things smaller, making it easier to waterproof things. We can do things now that were impossible just 10 years ago.
Bringing the animals back into the wild, well, it's a success story in itself. It also brings other components around that enrich that experience. From the biology side, it's beautiful. On a perfect day, you see the turtles swim away very strong, the work is done. But the other part that is also related to that is the involvement of the stewards that are local people that is involved into taking care of these animals, and being part of this release is very, very significant because it empowers them into be participants into being stewards of the land.